Welcome to Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. I'm JJ Flizanes, your host, and thank you for downloading today's episode because it is a bonus episode for Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. And I just want to let you guys know that I won't be publishing these shows here. You're going to have to come over to Women, Men, and Relationships to get them because I have promised to do a short 15 to 20 minute once a week second episode here to answer your questions and to address the things going on in the community in several of the Facebook pages that we have and the event that's happening. So that's what the second episode here on Spirit, Purpose, and Energy will be. But I did want to introduce you to Doug, and I did want you to get a taste of it because if you're interested and it's going to be entertaining, I invite you to come over to Women, Men, and Relationships and subscribe to that show as well. While the first show of the week will be a duplicate for you, you can just delete that episode and then just make sure you're subscribed so you can get the second episode, which we're going to try to keep under 30 minutes. I'm going to try to keep around 20 to 30, but I'll be honest, Doug's a podcaster, so there are times where we're just going to talk, and it's entertaining, and I promise, and you're going to get a deep dive into the psychology of a man, for those of you that are women, and you're going to get to hear that dynamic, and I would love, if it stimulates questions for you as well, to be in touch with me about that, and I will put that into our notes so that he and I can start to address and talk about some of those issues that you want to hear more about when it comes to relationships. So enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to Women, Men, and Relationships. Today's episode will be the intro to Doug.
I am so excited to be here.
You just took over. I wasn't even done with my sentence.
I have my tiara on. I am so ready. I just got done with drag brunch. I am ready to go. I've had my mimosa or two. I am ready. Welcome, JJ.
Welcome, Doug. Welcome, Doug Sandler. So for those of you that have listened to my Sacred Contract show, gone to jjflizanes.com and looked at the blog, read the post, watched the videos of me and Doug, this is the intro episode where I want you to find out a little bit more about him so you can get excited about what's to come.
We have so much that is happening. It's ridiculous. I mean, I am an East Coast transplant to the West Coast. I'm living in LA right now. I am digging this place. How do I get out of traffic? That's the only question I have.
So Doug Sandler is a podcaster like me. And like he said, is originally from the DC area and moved here about a month ago, moved into my home with me about 2 weeks ago. Is
that where we are right now? This is nice. I thought this was the Ritz-Carlton. This is very nice here. Do you always get room service every night like this? The front desk people are very nice here.
And here we go again. So I'm trying to find the balance between Doug's show, which is a lot of fuckery, he and Strickland on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then my show, which is uber serious. I know that you're used to hearing me in a very serious, in a contemplative way.
That is all over now. This episode is going to bring you completely down to my level. And JJ, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that in you. Your flexibility to be nonsensical like I am.
Well, you bring it out in me, Doug. So I want to give the listeners a little bit of an overview about what they should know about you going into this co-hosting situation that you and I are going to do once a week together.
Should I start with the two failed relationships that I've been in before I got involved with you?
I think we've covered that in episode 2 and 3 quite well, actually. This is meant to be a little bit lighter so my community doesn't freak out when they hear you.
Everybody just relax. She's in good hands, I promise. They weren't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I was innocent. I was young. I was not knowing. I feel like I have learned a lot from the failures that have happened. The women in my life, they weren't failures. I think that probably in the relationship mode, I probably had a lot to learn. I had a lot of maturing to do. So I got in what I thought was the microwave oven of maturity, and I got myself over to LA, and I am ready now to be involved in a relationship that is solid, good communication, all about sacred contracts, law of attraction, the things that I know that you are totally in tune with. And before I met you, I didn't know what the fuck any of those things were. So you're looking at me like, okay, could you just shut up now? Because I want to share with everybody exactly how we got here.
I want to do the very quick version since it ends up.
Okay, I promise. It'll be the quick version, I promise.
The quick version, without going down the rabbit hole of there's a mic in front of my face and it's time for therapy, is that we met at Podcast Movement in August of last year. We became friends as we met in September at New Media Summit. You then became a client of mine for about 10 sessions at the beginning of 2000.
10 seconds or 10 sessions?
10 sessions in this year where we got to know each other a little bit better, but it was more focused on exercise, right? It wasn't at all really life coaching until the very end. And so really you and I didn't know that much about our relationships. I knew a little bit about your frustration with wanting better communication, but you and I never really talked too much in depth about that. And then we both found ourselves on the 8th of April with relationships that were over.
So I would say in a matter of about a month from that time, into April 8th until about the middle of May, we explored some opportunity with each other. And many of you that might be listening to this might be thinking, well, if you got in a broken relationship, isn't this a rebound relationship that you just got in? We will get into that more in my therapy session next episode, I promise you. Wow, we have already recorded that. And I'll tell you, if you want to hear an episode where I just completely raw and completely filled with emotion, there might have even been some tears in episode 3. I can't exactly recall when we're talking about the 5 love languages, but there is so much good stuff that's happening. So we spent about from the beginning of April until about the middle of May, we spent some time trying to explore and figure out what we really expected from each other. From the middle of May until about the middle of June, we made some decisions on what was going to be happening in July and August. And I got to tell you, I think that so far the decisions that we made have been on point. We have been pretty honest and open with each other. We've been very communicative. We don't really know exactly where the relationship is going, but I can tell you that I've been having a good time over the last couple of months. I think that you've been having a good time too. I think we've been great support for each other. Can you share though a little bit about? Do you want to talk about how this all, like the connection and how that exactly works? Because this is something that you believe in. I mean, this is something that's in your core, and I'm just beginning to get on this ship right now. So I believe it, but you have lived it over the last 10 or 12 years.
So quickly, again, if you go back, and I said this on the Sacred Contracts episode and the blog and the videos, but the short story is that in the decline over the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years of my marriage, and even before that, there are things that you want out of a situation that you might not be getting. And in law of attraction terms, the best thing you can do for yourself to get that which you want is to be in alignment with it. And what that means is to get into a state in which you actually believe that it's real, you experience the feelings of it being real so much that you don't even need it to be real because you already feel the feelings for it. And every night before I'd go to bed, I'd make my appreciation list, my gratitude journal, and then I'd go a little deeper into sort of that wish list of what it was that I wanted. And again, in law of attraction terms, it's the path of least resistance. And so as I was doing this, I honestly thought in time, eventually, it would be my husband. And the day that came that said to me, like the impulse was, it's time to walk away and allow things to fall into place the way that they're supposed to, with no one else in my mind. I wasn't looking to date.
Hello, I'm here.
Right. It happened that fast. I put the relationship down and Doug showed up like 2 hours later. And it was very clear that he was exactly what I was asking for.
I don't even know how it happened. I mean, I do know the sequence of events, but I don't even understand. I was not a believer or even a knower of what law of attraction was. I was not a believer or a knower in sacred contracts. It's only recently, within the last 2 months, that I really have begun to understand it. Not only understand it, but believe it to the extent that I can't believe that everybody doesn't know about this. I thought maybe I was the only one that has not learned this, but it seems like Southern California, everybody understands that. Everybody seems to live this philosophy and this theory. I don't where did it come? Who do you even know who the creator? You do. Okay, who was this?
Well, no, law of attraction goes way back, like Seth, and then Ty would say it was whoever he listens to. It goes way, way, way back, but it's been more in our consciousness through the work of Abraham Hicks, which is about the last 30 years, that this conversation has been a little bit stronger. But this law of attraction just is. In fact, Napoleon Hill talks about it in Think and Grow Rich. So this is not a new concept. Vibration, frequency, belief, understanding, getting in alignment with things. This is a physics understanding of frequency. This isn't just some woo-woo bullshit. This is actually real, and we're always manifesting all the time. So I was very clear that when I took what was in my hands, my relationship, and I put it down and my hands were open, the universe gave me what I was asking for, which was a relationship that hit all the points I wanted, which was you.
So we've spent the last couple of months hanging out together, enjoying each other's company, and I've loved it. I think it's been great. It's been a great relationship. It's been a healing relationship for me. It's been one that's been a very supportive relationship from my perspective. We came at this relationship from two completely different angles, but we met in the middle here. And you had some healing. You needed support. I needed healing. I needed support. And what's so great about it is that we've been able to get a lot of those things that we needed that healing to be done. We have a partner to heal with, where many people in my support mechanism would have said to me, and my support network would have said to me, oh, you need to spend some time on your own. And I even had, I manifested, again, another word that I was not familiar with, manifestation, sacred contracts, law of attraction, all of these things were completely unfamiliar to me, yet completely makes sense in the environment where my marriage dissolved at the same time that my lease was running up, at the same time that my friend who lives in Miami, South Miami Beach, and has a condo in Chicago. He was living in Chicago at the time and says, I have this condo. Why don't you just go spend some time there? So all of these things came together at the same time, coincidentally at the same time that you and your husband parted. And I stepped into a relationship with you. I'm like, why would I go to Florida? It just doesn't even make sense. Well, you kind of said that to me. Why would I go to Florida? And I'm like, you're right. I mean, all of these things kind of collided at the same time, and life and decisions and action started to all match up and align. And life's been good for the last couple of months for me.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Mr. Sandler. So Doug is a podcaster. If you couldn't tell, his show is called The Nice Guys on Business Podcast. He's also the owner of a company called Turnkey Podcast Production. He and Strickland Bonner are the co-owners of that, and they help produce podcasts. So he is very well seasoned behind this mic, as well as been a very successful DJ for the last 30 years. And we have a lot in common, and I wasn't even aware of how much I was yearning for and missing the concept of someone else who loved words and loved to talk, until I got to Podcast Movement in Anaheim last August and met all the podcasters and thought, oh my God, these are my people. And then got to know you a little bit more in September. And while our relationship has always been platonic and out of complete respect for each other since then, I have definitely enjoyed and felt very on point and on purpose and in alignment and right on time with everything that's been going on with us. And I'm also very grateful and appreciative that whether it's you or not you, I know and trust that I am to get what it is that I want, because you showed up right on time.
And this is like black magic that works. It's not even magic. This is just the reality of what goes on. Does this go on every day? Law of attraction?
Every day.
Every day.
So you're like you're your own cell tower. You are emitting a frequency every day, all day, every day. And that frequency can be determined by your state of consciousness and your level of emotions. Like, where are your emotions? Because emotions have frequencies. So the highest frequency emotion is love and freedom and joy. The lowest frequency emotion is depression.
So can you understand, as you're listening to Women, Men, and Relationships, if you're out there in the community and you're listening to this, can you understand that you get back exactly, or you listen at a frequency that is exactly where you need to be? If you are listening on a frequency of depression, if you're listening to a frequency of despair and what are some of the really low frequencies?
Depression,
right?
fear.
Okay, fear.
helplessness.
If you're listening for that, you get exactly what you emit. If you're looking for fear, depression, if the words that you're saying to yourself, if the emotions that you're putting out there, if the frequency that you project are those frequencies, despair, rejection, loneliness, fear, if you live a very fear-based life, all you're going to get is fear. If you're living in an environment where you think that everything is going to be positive, Henry Ford said it. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. I mean, it's all related to the words that you say to yourself, the frequency that you are in right now. What you're putting out is exactly what you're going to be getting back. So if you see love in everything that you do, you're going to get love back. How is it that people that are happy are continuing to get happy? How is it that people that are successful are continuing to be successful in everything that they do? Do you think they just luck into success all the time? So if you're listening to this, understand that whatever you're putting out, you're getting back in return. Go ahead.
Well, some people don't understand, and I don't think people who listen to my show and now our show on, as you will be co-hosting the second episode a week on this channel, I don't think this community is adverse to taking responsibility for their feelings. In fact, I think people tune in to be inspired and to want to have hope. And I think you and I, what's going to be really interesting over the next couple weeks or couple months or couple years, we don't know, is that you kind of represent, and I don't mean this in a negative way, sort of the unconscious manifestation. Like, you weren't aware of what's going on, but you absolutely co-created this with me, because there's no way for me to get into alignment with you if we weren't on the same frequency. I was well aware. I'm more of that conscious co-creator, that I knew exactly what I was asking for. I was working hard at it, but you represent the people who are attracting by default.
But how many people that are out there that are listening to this right now in your community go through the relationships and go through their life completely unconsciously? I mean, they go at it without any level of responsibility for what is happening to them in their life is actually something that they are manifesting on their own. As you're listening to this, understand that you are getting exactly what you're asking for. Everything that you have in your life right now is the result of what you are asking for. You need to understand that.
And that you may not even know what you're asking for, because Doug Sandler, you were asking for many things better than what you had, but you didn't realize you were asking for something different than what you had. You thought that you probably just yearned for a deeper connection, a better communication, and some other things that you wanted to make better in your relationship. And part of you probably thought, well, okay, I'll hope for that, and maybe in the future I'll get that from this person. And that's how you sort of by default helped to bring about the situation that led you to be free to find it, because it wasn't going to happen where you were.
So over the upcoming weeks, we're going to talk about law of attraction. We're going to talk about frequency. Is that right? We're going to talk about manifestation. We're going to talk about sacred contracts. I mean, those are 4 terms that until I met you, JJ Flazanes, I never even knew about. And 4 terms that I have started to embrace over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, several months since we've met, but the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks since we've really connected and started hanging out together even more seriously than we were hanging out before. I had no idea. I really was one of those guys, total East Coast, thought that life just happens. I mean, I was a very positive person. I have a very positive outlook on life, but I didn't realize that we get what we ask for. I really didn't. And I didn't even really know how to get. I got exactly what I asked for. And I didn't even realize it. I was doing it so unconsciously, I didn't even realize it.
Right. So that's the unconscious part. But because you are a generally super positive person with pretty clean energy otherwise, I mean, you have some wounds to heal for sure, like the rest of us do, but you manifested something that you wanted without even knowing you were asking for it. I knew I got what I wanted when you showed up, because I was tuned to it in such a focused way that the minute it happened, I was super clear. I asked for this, and I just got my answer and my question answered by you. So I'd love to just invite anyone who's got any questions to make sure you check out the blog, and you can definitely write a post there. You can be in touch with the ways that you already are with me, whether it be Messenger or Instagram or Facebook or an email. I get all kinds of messages in different ways.
Hey, is this the same group that's coming to the event in September also?
Well, I sure hope so, because we're going to be doing some relationship work and manifestation work at the next big step. So if you haven't gotten...
Are we going to be doing any salsa lessons there too?
I think you're going to miss the salsa lessons.
Oh,
I think you're going to be DJing and doing your thing near DC, unfortunately. But you will get to meet Doug, and you will get to go through the practices that I did to manifest him, and you will get to... Whether you're single or in a relationship, it doesn't matter. These practices and the work we're going to do with Imago Therapy is going to uncover what it is you are trying to heal in your relationship, to give you more leverage to decide that if you're going to stay in your relationship, how's the best way to go about getting what you want from each other and healing those wounds that you made this contract to do. Or it could also help you realize that maybe, like in my case, there was really little chance of me having a partner for a long time, and I was kind of going to be by myself. And so it made my decision easier to surrender in a new way and just trust that as long as I stayed true to what it was that I wanted, and I completely believed 100% in every cell of my body that I was going to get it, that I would get it, and I got it at lightning speed. So you can really attract anything that you want at any point in time.
So JJ Flazanes, I am looking forward to going on this journey with you, not only from a podcasting perspective, but through life. I mean, I think we're having a good time together. We're hanging out, we're chilling, we're enjoying each other's company. You've converted this East Coast boy to a West Coast boy, and I love that very much. I love that very much, and I love you too. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this podcast is taking us and where this relationship is going with us too.
If I could kiss the mic, mwah, I love you too, honey. And I also know that whatever happens, we are going to have an amazing time, and we're helping each other, and we're just living sort of the bliss that's been presented to us. And there'll be ups and downs. There'll be healing to be had, and hopefully we'll share it all with you, and you'll be inspired. You'll be changed. You'll come meet us at the event. You'll be entertained. I can tell you that. It's Doug Sandler, and he will entertain you if nothing else. So I invite you to keep listening. Once a week, we'll be co-hosting a show, and it will go a little deeper in the next couple of weeks. It might go a little darker.
Yeah, next week it's gonna be kind of dark.
we're gonna go down the therapy route, because unfortunately sometimes when the mic's in front of Doug, he goes into therapy mode.
I kind of tend to wear my emotions on my sleeve a little bit. It's okay. It's all right.
It's totally great. I want all of you to hear, men and women. I want you women to know that there are men out there who are in touch with their feelings and are willing to express them. And men, I want you to also know Doug's not gay. Doug is very straight.
I do like to go to an occasional drag brunch, though,
and I have evidence of the flirting that happens there.
Oh boy!
But I want you. You're a perfect representation of someone who is still masculine, creative, and very straight, and would like to be, a positive influence in the world for men to know that you can still talk about your feelings and not be perceived as somebody who's weak or someone who doesn't know what they're doing, and that it's attractive to be honest and vulnerable, because I think that's how women want that. Women want to know that their men have feelings and are willing to talk about them and don't run away from them, and will dive deep into them because we have them too. And what a great opportunity to have a real partner to dive into those feelings with and support each other. I mean, that's what I've been yearning for.
So dudes, if you want to get laid, this is the way to do it. Just listen to this show. You can't help but get laid when you're sensitive.
And there you have it. For a reason to listen to the second episode a week of Women, Men, and Relationships. And we hope to have you back again next week. Thanks for listening.